The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
At this point, I just want to go back to the eligibility issue and how long we fought. Who in the world is Barack Hussein Obama, Barry Soetoro? And it all, in my view, it all goes back to that moment in time when we had that opportunity to expose that we have a Manchurian candidate in office. If anyone can tell me with absolute certainty who Barack Hussein Obama / Barry Soetoro is, and with absolute documentation to back up their lies, their claims, their garbage. Look, as an investigator, okay, don't tell me that there's documentation out there that supports the fact that the guy that's sitting behind or sitting in the Oval Office and golfing 1,000 times a year, don't tell me that your documentation is authentic or authenticated. Two separate meanings there. But you've got a guy in there that you don't have a clue his background. Okay, so you know what? I demand an apology from anyone still calling themselves a Christian conservative or even merely a conservative. I demand an apology for all so-called birthers, in the name of all so-called birthers, pejorative term, because this man, as far as I can tell, is doing nothing but advancing an Islamist, communist, Marxist, yes, they do go together, Saudi agenda, an agenda for Saudi Arabia that benefits nobody else but Saudi Arabia and, of course, the Western intelligence backing the Saudi family, as well as the governments of the Middle East governments of Qatar or Qatar, whatever, however you pronounce that, and other Middle East interests. When you follow the trail, when you follow the breadcrumbs, go back. Who paid for his education? I shouldn't say who paid for it. Who got him in to the Ivy League schools? Didn't the Saudi finance minister exert influence to get him in? Who is this guy? So when you start connecting the dots, and it's easy to do, you'll find that it's not just about Obama, but the people around him. You could tie Obama to Brennan, is based on what Mr. Shipp said, this former CIA officer, is a Muslim. Folks,
I think based on what he said himself, what he has said himself, Brennan.
How do you feel about the most powerful and influential intelligence agency in the world, that being the CIA, being run by a Muslim? How do you feel about that? Yeah, you feel okay about that, Mr. Beck, Mr. Limbaugh, Mr. Hannity? Those people who said, "Oh, the eligibility issue is just a distraction." Oh, those nutty birthers. I'm sorry, but you know what? I'm really upset today. I'm upset about a number of things. And as far as I'm concerned, it's righteous anger. Everyone should be angry about what's going on. Here we are, we're facing the 4th of July. Mark Dice, who I don't particularly care for a number of reasons, although he does some pretty interesting work. You know, the man on the street interviews. I think he could. Anyway, there's a video of him going around asking people at the beach, some California beach, what the 4th of July is all about, why they're having celebrating the independence from the Nazis, independence from Mexico, independence from you name it, and no one gets it right, at least not on camera. You know, they can't tell. I don't know. Yeah. So, but look, you've got the Obama Saudi Manchurian candidate, the Queen of Diamonds, the Night Stalker, Valerie Jarrett, who's running things, tied to Saudi Arabia.
That's pretty funny, the Night Stalker.
That's what she's called, Kevin Shipp. You missed that show. But Kevin Shipp, that's what she's termed, the Night Stalker. With and people are surprised about Benghazi and Syria and ISIS. And folks, remember what ISIS is. Remember, understand the satanic significance of ISIS. This is unbelievable. And to say that Obama's bona fides or background has no bearing, or that the eligibility is just a distraction, give me a break. That ranks right up there with the hard drives, mysteriously, where, you know, they all just cry. Everything just, oh, hey, stuff happens sometimes, right? But Brennan, head of CIA, despicable man as far as I'm concerned. And you know what? You know what? Another thing that angers me. Where in the hell is George Bush at? I want to know where George Bush is at. Why isn't he talking?
Retired.
Okay, he should be out there talking, saying, "Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute." If he was any kind of a president, he should be saying, "Hold the phone a second here. I just handed the keys to the White House. What did I just do?"
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.